Conversations of Corey and the person who runs the page Football of Kentucky. Today's guest in-house is newly appointed men's basketball coach Brandon Anderson of Central High School. How you doing today, Brandon?
Good, man. How you?
Doing good, man. Nah, you good, you good. So how did you go about getting the job at Central? And is that something that you've had your eyes on for a while? How did that come about for you?
Honestly, it's not something I had my eyes on, but it was something at the last minute I believed that I could do. So, I always thought I would be the coach at Western. That's what I always thought, and once that opportunity came, I just kind of threw my name in the hat, just kind of see, how it would go, and, got a call back and went in and went through the process, which was, a nice little process to go through. Had never been through it before, had never applied for a head coaching job, so I had no idea.
So this was your first one you've applied for, and you actually got it?
First
okay.
ever putting my name in the hat for a head coaching job. So, I didn't really know what to expect. I knew the magnitude of the job, but like I said, it was one of them things where it was just like, oh, let me try it, and see what happens. And, it happened for me.
Now, talking about Western, do you think you guys underachieved or overachieved during your time there? Or do you feel like, too, with you now being removed from Western's basketball program, do you feel like there's still a lot left in this team to accomplish what I believe that they can accomplish?
I actually think we overachieved. We had a lot of young players, guys that had a lot of growing up to do when it comes to trying to compete for a national championship, which is a really big goal for a school such as Western High School. So, coming in and building that expectation, whereas people was never thinking about Western High School, and then turning and becoming
a contender.
Yeah,
at all.
And becoming a contender. So, we had young guys that had to learn how to be, who they needed to be, where the expectations was coming to them. How to work and how to be consistent and how to be mature and controlling their emotions and things like that. They were so young. Like I said, that first year, we definitely overachieved. But people looked at us. We passed the eye test. We passed the eye test instantly. But people looked at us that first year and was like, oh, they made it to the regional championship. Then that next year we get bounced out. And it's like, oh, they went to so they took steps backwards. No, actually, was actually steps forward though. But then that third year, where it's looking like, oh, we should have won it, but it's like we didn't do the things necessary to win it.
Right.
And that's having guys available all the time. You know what I'm saying? No attitude, no suspensions, no different stuff like that. So, kind of played with our roster a little bit and too much roster turnover and, it happens like that.
So let me ask you this. When you're talking about roster turnover, do you ever face issues with having, I don't know if you want to label the children, the young men, prima donnas, but having young men that are accustomed to being able to do things a certain way when they should not be allowed to do things certain ways? Do you run into players like that are me's at a school like Western that has blossomed out of nowhere? Like, is that something that issues that you faced? You don't have to say names. That ain't my business. But you get what I'm trying to say when I say that?
For the most part, the kids are very humble kids, but it's all in what's around them. Mm-hmm. And some kids grow and blossom to a certain level where they may not be ready for that personality-wise, but they have so much going on around them. It can be hard for a kid to maintain, his composure when everything is coming at him so much. So, you run into it, but I think kids mean well, but it's hard in this social media era, and this, this likes and Instagram era. Everybody wants to be the guy. So, and guys want to portray that.
Yeah.
But it's all in, are you really becoming that? Are you really working to really be that? So, you definitely run into that. But, I think it's just the generation. I think it's the young generation and just how they operate these days. For real. for the most part.
Definitely. So I want to talk about something outside of Western and like local sports. You're talking about social media and stuff.
Yeah.
I want to get your perspective and thoughts on the John Morant situation.
Oh, wow.
So for me, personally, on the outside looking in, I know there's like gun laws and there's not gun laws in certain states, but for me, my personal opinion, you already, part of my French, you already fucked up once.
Yeah, absolutely.
Majorly. You're in another city of where your team is playing that team of that place, and you're in an establishment in that city, and you're doing that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You only get suspended 8 games, which in my opinion was a slap on the wrist.
for sure.
Being in his position, you got people your children's age, your youngin's age, looking up to people like him. You know, you go talk to Adam Silver, blah blah blah, and then you more or less you don't do the exact same thing, but you still make the same mistake.
Yeah.
What do you think they should do with him, and how crucial? Use the John Morant situation as an example of what you were talking about earlier, as far as being mindful of what type of quality of individuals you keep around yourself.
I think I think he'll be okay, but I think what he's going through, he needed to go through it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's learning just how to be mature, how to be a professional. You know, he has millions of dollars, but he's still learning how to be a professional.
Still a kid.
At the end of the day, he is still a kid. He's still young. He's having fun. You know, what he done was not right at all. You know, because for even safety reasons, just to be having it out like that. But the people you have around you are very important. You know, if you ain't got nobody to be like, oh, don't do that. You know, it's almost like a free range. He's out there doing whatever.
Yeah.
He literally want to do, and I feel like he got good parents and good people around him. So I feel like these decisions he's making are really just his decisions. You know, I can't really say, oh, his parents, because I feel like he has a good core of parents around him. So I just feel like he's just, making mistakes as he goes, and I think he'll be all right. So hopefully he learned his lesson after this last one, though.
So how far or how much do you think they do end up suspending him, or how much should he be suspended? It's definitely going to be more than 8 games.
Yeah, at this point, I feel like it'll be more than 8 games, but I mean, I would say 20. 20 games, and they'll probably. But I don't see it happening again. For some reason, I don't see him doing that again.
Because he knows if he does, he's going to fumble $250 million bag, right?
Yeah, and I don't even think like he has money, but when you like he's young and he didn't like come up with money, but he kind of came into money at a crucial age to where it's like you can almost say you always had money, kind of.
Yeah.
Because he's young and now he has millions of dollars. So if you don't know, you don't know how to act. So I think he's just a victim of just really not knowing how to be, with all the money he has and all the access to what he has access to. So, but I think he'll be all right.
So I want to get back to you into coaching basketball. If I'm a parent, why would I want my child to go to Central? First part, and secondly, why would I want them to be coached by you?
Because I'm a process guy. I really invest in your kid on and off the court, and especially your priority being off the court, and just life as a young man and growing, and those little mistakes and letting a kid know I've done this before. Don't go this way. Just kind of giving a kid a map to success, and I kind of really, really buy into that piece, that part of me being a coach. So when it comes to on the floor, I think my ability to have kids to trust me and trust what I say and want to follow me and being influential to kids, I think that's a big part of it. And and my drive to get kids to the next level. I'm really work on you as an individual to get you to the next level, and then work on getting those contacts and talking to those people to get you to the next level.
Right.
But I'm gonna let who you are and who we build you to be speak for itself. So I think my investment in that and my hard work in that helps a kid all day long in life. And any kid I've coached over the last 11 years, I still have a relationship with them. Still can call me for anything and talk to me anything, because I know how essential that is to a young man or a young lady as well.
Right.
So
Okay, and then back to the first part. Why, again, like if I'm a parent,
Mhm.
you said your piece on why they should be
Should
coached
come.
by you. Why should they come to Central?
I think Central's a good environment. I think it's a lot of love at Central. I think the people there, the administration, the community, they really care about the school. They really care about the kids that are a part of the school. And my being there over the month that I've been there, just kind of showed me the love that the school has in general for its students in general, let alone the athletes. You know, just the students in general, they expect high excellence, and they want that out of everybody. So I feel like when you're being pushed like that off the court, in the school building, from everybody in the administration, when everybody's demanding excellence out of you, I feel like that's a good environment to be in. When you everywhere you turn, you got somebody pushing you to go to the next level. So that's why I feel like Central's a good spot to be.
I want to talk about your life and your upbringing. I know that your upbringing, you didn't have an easy road. How is the life that you had helped prepare you be a father, and how has it helped prepare you be the coach that you are today?
Being blessed with maturity, like when you're coming up and you spend so much time with yourself, even as a young person, and
Definitely.
you know, just being mature and understanding what you want. Like, and I used to always tell myself like I got to get good at basketball, so I just kind of focused in on everything. I know a lot of times young people have a lot going on. They don't really lock in on something, and I think, you know, God blessed me to be able to just lock in on something, and it kept me out of trouble. So a lot of times if you get in trouble, it steers you the wrong way, then you got to deal with everything that comes with that before you can even come back to what you want to do. So, you know, I was fortunate enough to be able to stay focused and stay locked in on what I wanted to do, even though at the beginning, early, what I wanted to do was be an NBA player. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, I focused in on that. Even though that wasn't the thing for me, it still helped me. That focus still helped me to be able to stay focused so I can get what I'm doing right now. You know, if I don't stay focused, I'm not who I am right now. So I just feel like the ability to stay focused and really lock in on what you want and not get deterred by everything that's gonna happen. The stuff that you can't avoid that's gonna be thrown at you. So I think I did that well and was able to stay out of trouble.
Right. Now, I'm trying to remember, you have, is it 4 kids or 5?
5.
Ugh, that's a lot, man.
4 boys and a girl.
Now, I wasn't fortunate. I have one that's transitioning. My oldest is transitioning to a boy at 17, and then I have my youngest, which you see my princess, which is 5. Having 4 boys, and then having that girl, did that give you a different perspective and appreciation of women? And then, like, did it give you a different outlook on life? It had to affect you differently a little bit.
For sure. For me, having 4 boys, like, I always wanted a girl. Like, every time I was having a child, I always thought it would be a girl because I was raised by women. So, you know, my appreciation for women is pretty high. And so once I did, you know, get my daughter, it was a different feeling, different energy. It's definitely what I expected because it was everything I wanted.
Right.
You know, so when it did, you know, finally happen, you know, it was a blessing. It's for sure a blessing. It is a different energy, a different vibe. Definitely, you know, slows me down in my thought process. I'm very cautious with her and stuff like that. So, but she got brothers around her, so she's rough or whatever. So she's with whatever too. So, so yeah, it's crazy having a little girl with all boys. So it's crazy.
What's one of the hardest things you've ever had to personally get over in your life up to this point?
You know, not having my dad as much as, you know, I see being a dad helps. You know what I'm saying? A kid, like, you know, like my son, I've been in all my son's life since the very beginning.
For sure.
So I know how essential that is, and I kind of wish I had that. You know, I think but if I do, maybe I'm different. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's one thing that I kind of wish I had a little bit more of. You know, is having my dad at a young age.
Yeah, I have my father. You know, we definitely had our issues growing up. Definitely, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
But I feel, being a man that can relate to that, what you were just saying personally a little bit, it helps you and it shows you how not to be with your own children.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So do you feel like that helped you become an even better parent without realizing?
Yeah, it did. But I also understood that, it can be a handicap too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm able to manage that when it comes to raising my children, like not being too, I'm gonna give you everything I never had, and making you earn the things that I never had the opportunity to earn. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, kind of, staying in the middle and not kind of overdoing it and not, doing it too less either. So, I think it did help me on both ends though. It helped me to really, lock in on being a dad and what I felt a dad is, but also not making my sons work for things, and,
right?
Not being that person that's just there and doing for them because I'm there, and making them actually, hold themselves accountable and understand what's going on. I have real conversations with my son, especially my oldest son. So
how old your oldest now?
14.
Damn,
14, yeah. So
make me feel old.
He's getting big. Yeah, he was just little. He was playing with Derby City, so
Yeah.
it's crazy. But yeah, so we have real conversations, and he understands how fortunate he is to have a dad. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to walk around just thinking that that's just it's a luxury these days to have your dad, and let him know, don't take it for granted. You know what I'm saying? Don't take that for granted. So we have those type of conversations. For sure.
No, for sure. Again, like I was saying, I definitely had my father, and it wasn't easy at all for the longest. It was rough, but I'm fortunate being at my age now to have my father and be able to call him dad. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
One thing that I try to stress to people, man, is like people don't understand that no matter how old you get, you're what? You're probably, I think you're a little younger. How old are you?
34.
God, yeah. Full term of high school.
Yeah.
But like, no matter if you're your age or my age, there's still that little boy that wants that dad.
Always.
You get what I'm saying? So like, people don't understand how important it is. It gets me emotional.
Yeah.
We can,
It's very important. It is very important. I think about it all the time. But I survived without it, but it made me a great dad. You know what I'm saying? Because my whole life is based around my children. Once I had children, it was about them. My decisions was about them. Everything I did was about them. So, I care a lot about fatherhood and what being a father is. I care a lot about that. I always have, even as a youngest. So it's cool.
Oh, it definitely is. It definitely is. I want to get back into basketball again. What's your thoughts on the landscape of high school basketball in the state of Kentucky as a whole now? Like how it's progressed from when you played?
I think so people can understand winning the state championship is not easy in Kentucky. At all. And there's only one team that wins it. So getting there, and I've been there a few times, but teams, you look at the teams that win it, there is good teams. You know what I'm saying? It's not so much of teams that have good individual players. It's good teams that can buy into each other, do all the little bitty things. That's what wins the state championship. And a lot of times here in Louisville, people get caught up on everything that doesn't win a state championship. And that's why we don't have a lot of them in Louisville. That's why a lot of Louisville teams don't win state championships, because we're too caught up in the stuff that don't win state championships.
Right.
So I think it's growing as far as it goes, but the teams that really just buy into the little details and the really real team etiquette, those are the teams that's going to continue to win. state championships, and a lot of times those are county teams, more times than not. And
That's true. A lot of people don't say that, but that's true though.
yeah, so I mean, the proof is in the pudding. So,
Mhm.
you know, until people start to buy in to team etiquette and state championship etiquette, you know, Louisville schools won't win state titles. So, you know, it's kind of culture I'm instilling over at Central High School. You know, it's, you know, that team etiquette, because, you know, you don't need a guy to score 30 every night to win a state championship. You need about 5 or 6 guys
To score 8 to 10 points.
Yeah, and that's gonna do the little stuff. It's gonna dive on the floor. It's gonna take charges. It's gonna box out. That stuff is gonna make the extra pass. It's gonna do their job. And when, you know, kids are being plugged in for just their talent and not, are you a good teammate? You know what I'm saying? Is your energy good? Can people play with you? You know what I'm saying? All of that stuff is important. You know, and people walk around with their chest poked out and, oh, I'm good, but do people like to play with you? Can people follow you? You know what I'm saying? Are you a leader? Well, it's just a lot of boxes that need to be checked to win state titles. So, you know, but it's thrown around so much in Louisville, like, oh, state championship, but, you know, not really necessarily doing the things and winning a state title. You know what I'm saying here? So we got to buy into that. You know, parents are a big part of that too. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Man,
parents are a big part of that.
parents really don't know how much they affect versus what they do affect.
Oh yeah.
Especially when it comes to their children playing sports.
Yeah.
If you hear those footsteps, that's my 5-year-old daughter running around causing a ruckus upstairs. But made me lose my train of thought. Parents, yeah. So like you were saying, and you definitely know this from youth sports up until high school. If parents show their ass, cause scenes, do what they know they shouldn't do, kids ain't gonna be in it.
Nah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it makes it hard to coach them.
Oh, definitely. So I want to stay on that before I get into a couple more topics before we end this good conversation. How vital is, I wouldn't say how can I word it? I don't want to say the quality of a parent, but you get what I'm trying to say, how influential is the parent to the success for you as a coach?
Very, very, because it's getting through the rough parts. It's all good when it's all good.
Yeah, for sure.
But are you gonna let me challenge your son? Are you gonna let me set him down so he can learn his lesson? Because the most valuable thing we could take from a kid as a coach is his playing time.
Mm-hmm.
But when we do that, people don't like that. It's like, oh, why my son sit down? Why my son sit down? But it's certain lessons that a kid as a basketball player has to learn, and you can only learn those lessons by something being taken from you, which is minutes. So you'll value your time on the floor more.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of good players don't value their time on the floor because they're needed on the floor, because their coach knows he needs them on the floor. He's not really willing to sacrifice teaching him a lesson to lose a ball game, because you got people in the stands that's gonna bite your head off. So can a parent get through that part to get to the next phase of success? And those type of parents that can do that and can deal with that and echo what the coach is saying, like, yo, you know, do what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Do your job. Are you boxing out? Are you getting on the floor? Are you playing as hard as you can? Or do you just want the coach to let you be lackluster because you have some talent and ability?
Yeah.
So, you know, I think if a parent can, you know, stand the rain, then we'll have a good product, because it's a village. You know, I'm a part of the village, so a parent can understand that a coach wants your child to succeed,
Absolutely.
even through the rough patch.
For sure.
Some people take it personal.
They do.
And say, oh, you don't like my kid. Now, this is kind of part of what it is. This is part of what coaching is. This is part of what being a player is. This is, you know, not playing.
Yeah.
You know, earning your minutes. It's all a part of it. But people act like it's not. And
it definitely is a part of it, for sure.
Yeah, it's a part of the journey. Like, people act like it's not. Like, I've been that kid before that didn't get no playing time, had to earn it. You know what I'm saying? That was what the game was about. Yeah, you got 15 people on the team, but only 5 can be on the floor. So now, what are you doing to make sure you're on the floor? That's what the game is. It's competitive.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people want to be given things in the game of basketball and think playing time is fair, and it's not. You know, it can be a little fair when you're dealing with the, you know, the 3-year-olds, the 4-year-olds. But once you get up into high school and even middle school, you know, and you start to notice a kid is either a kid's playing hard or a kid's not playing hard. And if a kid's not playing hard, then he shouldn't be on the floor because the game is to be played hard. So if I'm letting a kid who's not playing hard stay on the floor, I'm not doing that kid no justice. But a parent will love to watch their kid be on the floor doing nothing as long as they're playing. And I don't think that's
weird.
Yeah, like I don't want to watch my kid on the floor doing nothing. And you know, I coach my kid, and it's a couple times where I didn't play him because you're not doing your job. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. And as a
more is expected.
Yeah, and especially with my kid, people will say like, "How you on?" Well, my kid's fortunate. My kid has the access to be in the gym every single day to get better. So if he's not doing that and it's not reflecting in his game, then he can't play because once we're in between the lines, I'm coach, I'm not dad. And people don't understand that. Like,
there's a difference.
Yeah, like before I became a father, I was playing basketball. I was in love with the game of basketball. So once I'm coach, I'm coach. Even if my son is my player, but I'm coach. So I'm judging you as a basketball player. So if you're not giving as a basketball player, then you have to sit and let the next person do what you're
willing to give.
Yeah, what you're not willing to do. And that's just how I operate. And that's for everybody.
Yeah.
I've been there before. Like, I played the game my whole life, so I know what it's like. I've been there not getting in the game. I know what that's like, so I can talk to you about that. I know what it's like to be on the floor. I know what it's like to be the player with the politics that can make a few more mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
I've been that player before too, and I know it's there.
Yeah.
But it's, are you the guy that earned that position? Because politics is a true thing. You might be in a situation where it's a guy ahead of you that got the politics. That's part of it. So it's all in what are you doing as an individual, you know, and that's how I look at it. And I think parents need to echo what a coach is talking about at home, so a kid can understand the meaning of work ethic and working and not taking the game for granted.
For sure.
So,
if you could have a conversation with the younger version of you, what would you tell the younger Brandon, and why would you tell the younger Brandon what you would tell him?
That's a good question.
See, so before you give your answer, what I like to do, Brandon, is I like to talk about more than just sports.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? So I like to ask questions that may potentially not normally get asked. Because you get tired of talking about the same shit.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You may or may not, because I know how much you love basketball, but
Right,
you get what I'm trying to say. I like to ask questions where they get to know the person more than just the coach.
Yeah. I mean, I would tell myself, you know, just continue to trust the process. You know, continue to work hard. Don't get discouraged. You know, a lot of people used to drill me on like my plan B, and I kind of relied on. I didn't really know what my plan B was, but I focused on it a lot because it was drilled into me.
It's drilled in all of us. Yeah.
But what I'm doing is actually my plan A. You know what I'm saying? My plan A was always to be involved with basketball. But as a youngin', my immature goal as a young person was to be an NBA player. You know, all young athletes, and I want to be an NBA player.
Oh, for sure.
But there's so much that goes into becoming that. And as a young person, you don't know that. I don't care who you are. When you're young, you want to get to the league, but you have no idea the journey it takes to get there. And it all depends on the people you have around you and with you. Me, I didn't have the resources or people around me to have made it to the NBA. But I've eclipsed a certain level as an individual where I can help younger people behind me make it to the NBA. I played with guys that was in the NBA. I've been in situations with people that allowed me to be who I am today that can help the next person behind me make it to the NBA. So that's how I dealt with, you know, my dream not working, I guess, to get to the NBA. I just tell myself it wasn't for me. It was for who I'm helping to get to that next level, and I can accept that. So that was cool for me.
Definitely, definitely. Last question before we end this great conversation. How does Brandon Anderson want to be remembered when his time on earth is done? The person.
Person. I inspired the next person to want to do whatever it is you put your mind to. You know what I'm saying? And no matter what your circumstances is, just based on hard work, people see me grind over the years and just do it legit and just stay solid and go through whatever you got to go through to eclipse where you want to go. And I just want to be remembered as a guy that inspired the masses and helped people along the way. Even people I don't know, when they see me and just understand my grind, my work ethic, my genuineness, and just being influential to people. So I think that's how I want to be remembered, as a guy that helped, especially the youth.
Right.
Our young men and women get to the next level of just life and just, not just sports, just being, happy just as an individual, as a person, spiritually, physically, all of that. So that's kind of how I would like to be remembered, for sure.
Brandon, I want to thank you for your time. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself.